All right, I got the recording going. So, Namika, if you want to talk a little bit about uh, the, is it the ASP proceedings? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah. It is just an email that was requesting. Okay, it says that being requested to either Okay, let me read it out. So you've been invited to as an author in the volume ASP 2020 in the paper journey with the SEASS 0.5-meter telescope, progress and prospects. Please click here to accept the invitation or decline. So I wrote Kate a message, and she said we could talk about it, could discuss with you and Amanda on that. So I chatted Amanda up, and she said okay, we could talk about it in the meeting. But I went on to accept the invite, and I created a profile. And I'm yet to go through the page because I had things that kept me busy for the week. Well, after this meeting, I'll go through the page and I'll try to sign in and find out what is expected, and if there's a deadline, and if they have whether they're expecting we put up a full paper, or we probably there should be a way out of it. Then I should be able to link you up with that. Then we know how to go about it. If they're requesting for a full paper, then that means we have to wait until we get the full analysis result for the asteroids photometry, because it's part of what we mentioned, then a couple of other things. But I think we could just do that off off the groups, then put it together, pick up a time and work on it. By the time I get the full details that are required, then we'll look at that and see how we come through with that. Or maybe while the meeting is going on, I could still be checking on it. Maybe I could send you a private message on that. I will know what we can fix up to work on that. So for now, it's just I've been able to sign up. I've been able to create a profile, but I've not logged in again. I tried to log in and it was saying either user password or username invalid or password. It was in the night. I was already feeling sleepy, so I didn't check out all three. But I can still lay my hands on that now. Maybe while the meeting is going on, let me see if I can pull up the link and I'll share with you. When you look at it, you'll know if what is required, and let's know if it's what we can do.
Sounds good.
That sounds good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
speaking of, oh, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, I just said we should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your name shows up on the ADS, like astronomical database system thing. So it's really good.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
And speaking of like some of the results that you mentioned, like I saw a notice in the ASN there were some new light curves.
Sorry, say what?
I noticed in Slack in the ASN channel that you
Okay,
guys
yeah,
posted new light
yeah.
curves, or you just
Yeah,
posted those.
uh, yeah, those are, we try to finalize the analysis for, because we have intentions of putting it up in the MPO bulletin for March. The outcome of the asteroid photometry. But the issue we're having now is that one of the data for asteroid 10037 is not giving us what we really expect. So we're still trying to see if we can make an adjustment, or we came up yesterday. We had a meeting with Matt, and we one of the options is really to re-observe the target since SEO is up and running now. So he said, and we checked, and the target is observable. But then Matt is going to work he's going to prepare he's going to work on the plan, the observation plan. Then as soon as it's done, then if that is going to be feasible, like we can get adequate data for the analysis that we need in the shortest time, we'll go on with that. If not, we'll have to just make do with unavailable data for different asteroids, then be able to meet up with the March deadline, because I think there's usually three different times. It's done. I think it's quarterly. It's done quarterly. So we are looking at March or probably the next time. But if we can get for March, then we can make other observations and probably be seeing the possibility of putting up in every bulletin, if possible, since we have the software. And we can always make the analysis. So we can as well populate the light curve database as much as we can. But we have to get this one right first. As soon as we do that, then subsequent ones, I don't think we're going to find them that difficult. So those were the those are the extracts from some of the work we did during the Christmas break. Although that was basically done by Idris. Idris put up his. But during the meeting yesterday, we were able to, finalize on a couple of things, and because it was our first meeting, it's March for the year. A lot of last week did not hold because it was called in at work. So let's see. This week on Wednesday, we should be able to know if we are re-observing the target, or we are going to streamline the data that we have for the 10037, or we choose another target of possible same characteristics so that it doesn't affect the literature. Then we'll try as much as we can to see if we can put it up in the MPO bulletin for March, or maybe the next quarter, if that's possible. So that's the aim. So we just hope it works. We'll work towards that.
Yeah, and at least one of the asteroid light curves looks really good. The other one is
Yeah,
weird.
the 15989. It's good.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, me too. I was actually just about to say, if you wanted to have one of our kind of group observing nights be one of those observing runs for an asteroid, that is very, very easy to do. And I think also a good lesson, because you have to, when you're observing asteroids, you've got to be on your toes, changing filters and taking those subsequent images. So I think it's a really good way. Oh, thank you, Emeka. And I think it's a really good way to get people really into, because I feel like sometimes with observing, sometimes it's like, if you don't have that strict, we need to observe this much in this window, it can kind of get to the point of like, okay, what do we go to next? How long do I do this for? But if you've got that observing plan, and we need these filters, these exposure times, this binning, and we need to go as quick as possible, it's a really good way to kind of like get into that groove and get really comfortable with the software.
Yeah. Do you know if it's visible now?
For the 1037, we can observe from what we checked yesterday. It's possible to observe it's possible to observe from the Sonoma sky chart. We were able to run the plots, and we saw that Matt says it's observable. So it's observable. Then he's going to make our plans, and he says, I think he mentioned that some people are already making use of the telescope at is it Chicago or California? I don't know. So they're making use of a telescope there, but he has to plan the observation, so he doesn't think a free time that we can just set out. And we agreed that whenever he chooses best, we could just come up, and no matter what the time is going to take, we'll just be up and running and make sure that we get something and see if it's possible we can get a better result from the new data we'll acquire. Because technically, if that is done, we are gaining on two parts. We can stand by the fact that we got the data ourselves, and we run the analysis. So that gives the paper more weight.
Yeah, So I'm looking. It is observable after. Let's see. I can share my screen if you guys want.
Okay, from 2, I think.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and yeah, so it's observable like kind of midway through the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could definitely do that, and then you guys can just stay up like for the rest of the night while we go to sleep, and observe it yourself.
Doesn't the black mean that the hour angle doesn't work with SEO?
It doesn't work on solar system objects that like hashing
Oh,
isn't
that's
done.
right.
And,
You've
and
explained that.
sorry, again, Amanda, please, for the observation on Friday night, I don't know if it's possible today. I would suggest, if it's possible, if you guys can put us through this chart and how to read it and what it entails. I don't think everyone, I have a little idea, yeah,
Uh,
but I don't have that in-depth knowledge of what, how to know when it's observable, what is visible and all. And I
yeah,
think it's also, it mustn't be today. We could do that before the observation on Friday
Mhm.
or any other time. But I think before the observation, especially the new ones among us, we need to understand what that means and how to play around it.
yeah. We can do like a very short introduction before observing, on whichever day we decide to observe, whatever, like Friday night or Saturday night here. So Saturday morning or Sunday morning there. Um, but yeah, so we should definitely, yeah, go over this. I know that it's also like part of Google Classroom. So you can definitely also like, just for your reference, check the stuff out there as well. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to like quickly, before we start observing, to go over what all of the commands do and how to read this chart and how to produce the chart, and go where we need to go. So yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah, I noticed when I jumped on
I
last week, I could definitely have used like a bit of a refresher for myself.
Yeah.
For some reason, like all the simple like opening commands, like the sequence, my mind completely forgot all that. I remembered
Yeah.
all the imaging stuff, but like the opening and closing sequence, I had to go to the help menu and like, oh yeah, that's right, squeeze or crack. And it's like, oh, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I also wanted to ask, now that we have a bunch of people on, uh, is Sunday. So for us, if we start on a Saturday night and then you guys have to get up on a Sunday morning, does that work for you? Because I know we lost a couple people that had to get ready to go to church. Would you guys prefer that we don't do our Saturday nights and your Sunday mornings? Would you prefer we stick to our Friday night and your Saturday morning, or pick a weekday just because if Sunday isn't a good day for you?
Well,
Well,
I
for me,
think Friday night and Saturday morning is gonna be good.
Okay.
well, that's Sunday morning. We could stay for 1 hour. It's not very convenient because at some point we have to leave because some of us may have to attend the very early morning masses, depending on your location. So it comes off and on. But if majority you know, feel comfortable about that time, then it's okay for me. I could make adjustments, but it's not very convenient, but I can make adjustments. That's for me. So
Okay.
let's hear from the other.
Well, as for me, I think I'll vote for Saturday morning. Because on Sundays, I normally go for masses by 6 a.m. So probably Saturday will be best for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we stick to, then we can try for this Friday night? Maybe the weather will magically clear up. That happens sometimes.
I've become such a pessimist with the way Wisconsin's January has been. So for you guys that aren't familiar, tomorrow night could be the first clear night in Wisconsin this month. It has been cloudy every single night. Now we've had a couple days with sunshine, but the night sky has always been cloudy. Tonight might be clear too, but the seeing is going to be really bad. So I'm waiting for tomorrow night. But so I'll be out observing tomorrow night, and then my plan is to come back from observing to the office and jump on and start with SEO, since I have that 2-hour gap. So I can do real live observing with our students here, and then I'm going to jump on and try to do SEO observing with you guys. So my Friday night is going to be awesome if that works out and the weather cooperates.
Yeah, yeah, it would be awesome if the
Fine.
weather is good on Friday or Saturday morning. Sorry for, I know Chris wanted to say something too, but now he looks frozen. No longer frozen. Semi-frozen.
Actually, I had 2 questions, please.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My first question is, I wanted to know, how is there a code, a particular code we use to do the programming, like the observation? Is there a kind of code we input into the software in order to observe the night sky, or let's just say the sky in general, or we just open the application and we follow some few basic steps and we're done with it?
Yeah.
Do you want to give your other question? Because we can answer that one pretty quick.
Yeah. What is your second?
Okay. The second question is the last observation, as I said, I was out of data connection, so I said I'm gonna come back. It's gonna be like 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. And when I came back, I came to the room, like the Zoom meeting, and there was no one. It wasn't even yet 9 a.m. I wonder if everything ended before time, or the sky went blurry, or I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was on me. I waited up until about 2:30, so I think about 8:30 your time, and the telescope stopped responding to me. So I ended up closing Zoom, and yeah, so there was no observing left to be done. I would say if that happens again, which I don't think it will, because as long as the telescope's working, I'll be up for the full time that I say I'm going to be up. If you go and check Slack, which I think you are in the SEO Slack, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go there and you check the Insomnia channel, and you can just check the timestamps on the last commands, and if there hasn't been a command in an hour, or if you see the last command was squeeze, that just means that the observatory is closed and that we're done. So I would recommend checking that beforehand. But that actually ties in perfectly with your first question about how the observing actually works and operates. And I'm going to go over Google Classroom in a little bit. And you'll be able to see we have a lot of that stuff laid out. We have an intern this past summer who put together lessons plans and step-by-step instructions on how to operate the telescope and all of the basic functions of the telescope. So today is also going to be part of making sure everybody's in Google Classroom, going through those things. And I would also really like Nameka, Raphael, and Amika, if you guys want to give your feedback on some of the Google Classroom stuff. It's one of those tools that we want to see continually evolve. It's not like we're throwing this out there as it's this perfect polished piece yet, but it's going to give you all the tools necessary to begin observing. So I think all of your questions about how does the telescope operate, what is the step-by-step things that you need to do to be ready, all of that will be in the Google Classroom, and you'll be able to learn that from those slides. And we can always do an introduction, especially if Katya's on. I think she's given, or Amanda as well, they've given how to observes using SEO about 1 million times each. So they can do it pretty quickly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And the observation part is like you said, like pretty simple. So it's not like a script. The script is already running in the background. We just send like commands that say open the dome, take a picture, whatever. The actual Python part that you guys will be working on is when we do the data analysis and the reduction. So the observing part isn't necessarily like a script or anything, but the part that you will have to learn how to reduce the data and process it and analyze it, that's going to be in Python.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Ambrose.
Hi,
Okay.
hi everyone.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. I joined late as a
No
result
worries.
of.
Good
Yeah.
to have you here.
Nemeka have said something concerning asteroid to be
Oh yeah.
observed. Okay, are we or is all the participants focusing on the asteroid, or can someone come up with another object to observe? Because my interest is on variable stars.
So we've actually have imaged variable stars in the past. Um, we did last summer, we got a lot of nights where we did some really cool observations and haven't actually done anything with them yet. And it's one of my continual goals to get that stuff together and actually do something with it, because we did some cool stuff. So yes, if you go use AAVSO and you find a variable star that's perfectly in our observing window, that is absolutely something we can do on an observing night. And one of the things that we want to continue working towards, doing these little projects like asteroid photometry, variable star observing, those are things that we want to do soon rather than later, because later we want to really dive into the all sky survey aspect of the project. So variable stars, I think, and asteroid photometry are really those things that I think we should try to do soon, so that we can use them as ways to get really familiar and comfortable with the observing process, and even also with the data reduction process. But one of the things that we want to continually do is look for other things that can help us take those next couple steps in the SEASS survey, the SEO, the Stone Edge Observer.
Stone Edge All Sky Survey.
Thank you. I don't know why that tripped me up so much.
Yeah.
But yes, so variable stars is definitely something that we can do. And it's also something that down the line can be a separate project that you can work on as well.
Yeah, and like to add on to that, so yeah, asteroid photometry and variable star photometry can be like long projects too. So if so part of the way that, and we talked about this with with like our veteran group, but not with the new students yet, like part of the way to set up a survey of the sky is to first establish questions that we want to answer, right? So one of the things that we want to know are your interests. So like Ambrose, thank you for pointing out your interest in variable stars, because that will help us. An all sky survey is just going to be like a tool, right? We're going to image all the whole sky through the lens of SEO, but it's going to be a tool to help us answer other questions, right? So the way that like the dark energy survey or the legacy of space and time, what a LSST keeps changing their acronyms and is different every time. But the next generation LSST, if you don't know what that is, drop down in the comment in the messages to like ask the question. But it's basically the next generation huge survey. And so one of the things we went over was how did they plan that survey and around which science goals did they plan that survey? So if one of our primary science goals is to look at transient objects, which include asteroids and variable stars, then we would structure our survey in a different way than say if our primary goal was to look at large scale structure of the Milky Way or whatever. Or if we wanted to answer all of those questions, we would have to make decisions together about which parts of the sky to observe when, so that we can get the most scientific use out of our data. And we can continually be building this legacy data set of the sky. So definitely good to know what people are interested in. And if you don't yet know what you're interested in, that's okay too. We'll just like, we'll be guiding you along the way.
Okay, to
That was my spiel.
To make progress, I have to find out what I want to do based on a particular object, and now put it in writing and forward before the observation can be done.
Yeah, so maybe we can do something similar to what we did previously, Adam, where like we had like a Google Slides that like where people would fill out what types of objects they're interested in, and then we can plan our observing sessions around that. But this is meant to be collaborative. So if there's something that you really like, if this variable star is only going to be visible like next week, then like please write in like Slack to us that we need to observe this variable star this week because I would like to get this project underway or whatever. So right now it sounds like we have 2 observing nights that are full. We have asteroid 10037. Yes, I got it right. Haha. And yeah, and the variable star that Ambrose wants to observe.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can like pick this if you don't know which star you want to observe. We can also like look through the database, the variable star.
I will search for the star I want to work on, then communicate
Oh,
to you.
okay. Yeah. Just drop it in Slack.
Yeah, and we could even before the end of today do a live tutorial and go into Examna and see when it is observable, just so you guys know how to check there. Because one of the trickier things is always figuring out when is this observable. And the nice thing about Examna is it has like the easiest tool ever to use once you understand the chart. But also the weather does actually look promising according to Clear Dark Sky. Not only tonight, but also last night. But tomorrow night actually looks decent, cloud cover, transparency, and seeing wise. Just the darn moon. All right. With that, unless there are any other questions anybody wants answered at the moment, feel free to drop those in chat. And Amanda, if you see anything, just feel free to just say, hey, Adam. Oh, I heard somebody. Okay. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm just going to do a quick run through of Google Classroom. I'm also going to call out anybody that I see that hasn't been able to get in yet, and we're going to try to fix that today because I want to make sure everybody's in there and has access to these resources. So first things first. Oh, this is actually the response. Amanda, did you have any big takeaways? Or I guess we can talk about this later, but so first things first. As you can see, there are 3 teachers in the SEO classroom. And you can email any one of us straight from here. Leave class. Oh, that's because I'm logged in. You can hit email. Wait. Oh, there's plenty of teachers. I see. Okay. And so, yeah, if you have a question for any one of us, you can just hit the dots and hit email. I need to change who's logged in here. 1 second. I'm trying to get my screen to work with the faces because I like seeing everybody.
Also, definitely, if you have questions, feel free to Slack us too. So
Yes.
whichever you prefer. I know some people like email more than Slack, and some people like Slack more than email.
Oh, yes. Definitely, I would prefer Slack. I tend to get those quicker. And sometimes email will send people's stuff into spam if they don't immediately recognize you. I don't know if we'll have that issue, but it's always something just to be a little aware of. So if you email me and you don't hear a response, it's because it got spammed and send me a Slack message instead. Anyway, so if you go to people, you can see all the teachers. This is where you can hit your email if you can't find us on Slack. This is where we can see, all right, who's all in here? Who are all the people that are part of this? The main thing that we're going to want to do, what's stream? Oh, I see. That's like everything in chronological order.
Excuse me, when you were scrolling down the student's name, I didn't see my.
No, we didn't. Okay, good. We can workshop this. Okay, so if I'm now logged in as a teacher, I can see, so Idris, Linda.
Yeah, I can see something there like this. Augustine Guedman. Actually, that's my mother's email. I don't know how come it
Oh.
is here because uh, her email is in my phone. Like she created her email address with my phone, and it remains here. So sometimes there's this confusion, and my rather her email is taken instead of mine to registering things. So
Oh,
and I don't really feel like to sign out for with her email out of like the phone. So most of
yeah,
the times there is this confusion with mine and hers.
no worries. I will go to Slack. I'm actually in Slack now. I will direct message you in Slack the invite link, and all you have to do is click that link, put your name and info in, and you'll be added to the student list, and then you'll be able to log into the Google Classroom. Make sure you're
Okay.
using a Gmail. I know there are certain Gmails that have issues. One of the ones that is tied to one of the universities, I think had an issue signing in. So let me know if anything like that pops up, but I'll send that right now. All right, so that's the invite link. So, okay, so you should be able to get in through there. Otherwise, we got Ambrose in, perfect. Mecca, Jude, and anybody else on this call that didn't see their name in there? Okay. Okay. So yeah, so if you didn't see your name and you just don't want to say anything at the moment, that's fine. Just let me know after and we can make sure we get that fixed. So classwork. I can't stress this enough. It's not actual homework. It's just a resource for all of you. There are certain things that we want to make sure that everybody goes out and fills in, just as useful things to us. So one of the recent things was the SEASS technology survey. It's just useful for us to know where everybody is at, what technology they have, what their limitations are with the technology that they have at their disposal. Because I understand that downloading a gigabyte of data is not that easy for everybody. Um, and that's something like when we start to do variable star data analysis, uh, a night's worth of images is about a gigabyte or two. So it can add up pretty quick. So we just want to make sure we know where everybody's at so we can try to accommodate if possible. So if you haven't filled this out, please do. I know we have 7 people filled it out, so thank you for those who did. Student survey. This I think is old. I think everybody here has done that. This is just kind of a reminder to install Slack, or at the very least, make sure your account is active. You're on the Glass Education Slack. You know how to log into your account. There's a nice video on how to install it. The app can be very useful if you don't want to have Chrome open all the time, especially when Zooming. So that is something to definitely take a look at. Leaders and mentors. So if you're not that familiar with everybody here, this can be really helpful. You can get an idea for everybody's background. Sorry. Rafael, thank you, Rafael, Nameka. And so we still have to bug Peter and Idris to get theirs in here as well. And
Excuse me, can anyone just input this information, or it's just for the teachers and the leaders?
just for leaders and mentors, this one, but we want everybody to fill theirs out here. We want to know a bit about you guys, not only because it helps us know where you are, but also because we want to get to know each other and, you know, be able to hang out when we're observing and really have this be a community and be able to, you know, get to know each other. So,
Yeah, I would like to stress that like we want this to be collaborative as well as educational. So we want to learn with you guys as well, like within between each other as well. So we are going to be guiding you, and like the veterans of the like our first group will also hopefully be guiding you guys, but we also want to make sure that the knowledge exchange is going both ways. So there are some things that you know more about than us. So for example, probably Ambrose, you know more about variable stars than I do. So just like learning about that from each other is really good way to build collaboration and community.
Yeah, so thank you, Ambrose.
Okay.
And
I'm going to sorry about that.
oh no, you're good. So yeah, so Ulrich, when you have a chance, once you're in the classroom, you can open up Stone Edge Observatory students, go down to a new slide, and just, you can also just copy the, make a copy of this actually instead of making a new slide, and then just put information in about yourself, drop a picture. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Anyway, so that is one of those things that all of the Welcome to Stone Edge Observatory are the things that over the next couple days, we really want people to do, to complete. And then anytime somebody new joins the project, these are the things that they have to go through, get all of those done. And then the order for the rest of the stuff can change as we go. Obviously, introduction. So oh yeah, so this is one other thing that we wanted to do was to help you kind of assess what you need to get better at, or where you actually feel comfortable with all of the different aspects of observing. You can open this form here, and it basically covers all of the basic steps of observing and just checking how good do you feel about your ability to observe using the telescope. So that one is also just another resource for you. Now, introduction to SEO. So the first things first, guide to using Itzamna. The Stone Edge Observatory actually has its own website, and Amanda did an awesome job putting this stuff together. I'm assuming, Amanda, this was you?
I made the website, but this actual Itzamna thing was made by a student.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this goes through all of the commands, talks about how to format commands, all of the different options. There's all of these really cool, all this useful information that you can go through. And there's also the option of you can go and watch some of the recorded sessions that Katya and I did last summer, where we introduced Stone Edge Observatory when we did live observing sessions via Google or via YouTube, excuse me. But this is a very in-depth, useful tool. Probably also a good thing to just bookmark. All of the commands, like just the names of the commands, you can find by typing \help when you're in Itzamna, but you're not going to get the same level of detail on each one. I don't know what this is. You need access.
Which one?
I don't know. It says unknown drive file. Oh, I need to change the sharing permissions here. Anyone with this link can view. Done. Now everybody should be able to actually see this when you go in there. Sorry about that if you tried to go in and actually look at this. So this has a bunch of introductory information. Where exactly is the telescope? Some of the background of the telescope, information about the telescope itself, what kind of telescope it is, all of those little details you might need. A lot of this is also really useful stuff if you're going to open up Telescopius, which is another tool we can talk about later, because in there you can actually put in all of the details of your telescope and your observing location, and it does stuff very similar to the find and plot command in Itzamna, and it can help you put together observing lists for different objects. But it's definitely more amateur astronomer focused than anything else. But yeah. So then this has some other basic astronomy skills and basic observing knowledge, background knowledge that you need. And I don't know what happened there. Skip and flaw. I'll have to ask Kate about this one. But
So maybe we
go ahead.
just like maybe we can set like for next week, if you guys could go over the introduction to SEO section, and then there's like a skills assessment afterwards. Like maybe that would be a good starting point for both getting used to Google Classroom and also kind of getting familiar with SEO. We'll go over a lot of this too, like in person, but definitely would be good for you guys to just go over those slides and then take the short assessment afterwards. It's not graded, it's just for like our purposes to know where people are at. Yeah.
Yeah, and as it mentions in the skills assessment, you can take this as many times as you want. So if you feel like you've gotten more comfortable and you just want to, check up where you're at, what you need to improve in, what do you need to focus on the next time you observe, you can take this as many times as you want. So I think that is a good spot, is to make sure you've gone through all of these, kind of the beginner introductory to Stonehenge Observatory. Obviously, before you do this, you have to make sure that you're able to log into Google Classroom. If you are not, please let me know and we can workshop that via Slack, make sure we get that done. And so go through all of the introduction, the welcome to Stonehenge, and then also go to the introduction to SEO, take the skills assessment after you go through both the website on how to use Examna and the presentation about the introduction to the observatory. And then as you go down, if you feel ambitious and you just want to dive into everything you can, there is stuff here for just about everything that we're going to be using. So Telescopius, as I mentioned, there is a presentation on how to use Telescopius, planning your session. So there's some useful materials here. Stellarium, where to go to download Stellarium and use it. Making color images with DS9, Jupyter Notebooks tutorial, the star server, heavens above, all of the different things that we'll be using. Here's sky charts, exoplanets. Do we have CCDs, files, image processing, star basics, astrometry, photometry, sky surveys, Python. So yeah, I think for next week, make sure you've finished everything here. You've gone through the introduction, and we can go over some of the Examna basics tomorrow for sure when we observe. And it looks like the weather will be good. So watch out on Slack. I will let you guys know what time I'll be on and what time I'll be jumping off. So I apologize if you have to get up very early to join us, but yeah.
Yeah, and don't be,
Sorry, go ahead. I was done.
and just don't be like intimidated by the number of items. Like all of them are really, really short. They should take like 3 minutes, like in the Welcome to Stonehenge Observatory stuff. So it should be very fast. And the rest of the resources, we can also, whenever we go over something, we can point to them on like a case-by-case basis. So like before the week that we go over photometry, we can say, okay, check out the photometry slides to get acquainted with photometry, but then we will be going over that as well to do data analysis, for example. So definitely it's there to be as a resource and not really as homework. So just in case you get lost or confused about something and we're not like in a meeting or we're not observing together, you can just go there to sort of get better acquainted with the different skills.
Interesting. So
yeah, it does look like Friday night, but it's the same in the Slack channel. It's like,
Sorry.
huh.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think he froze.
Okay. Sorry, I've been having internet instability here. So I just try logging in it to go. Sometimes I'll hear some few things. Few things I may not be able
Chris, oh,
I don't know if this video might be readily available like after today's session. Maybe I could just go through it again. Don't know.
yeah, I actually, I have to apologize. I forgot to upload last week, so I
Yeah.
uploaded it last night. And I'll have that. The link is in the meeting notes from last week, which I haven't been taking any meeting notes today, and I forgot to ask somebody else to. But I'll make sure the link for today's video is out, and it's in Slack by the end of the day today. So you can keep an eye out for that, and you'll be able to rewatch this entire meeting and go through all of the stuff that we've covered again. But yeah, this will be up on YouTube by the end of the day today. Or, well, I guess for tomorrow morning for you guys, the video will definitely be up. So yeah, so did you notice this, Amanda? Did he update Clear Dark Sky to extend it and to update more regularly?
Who? The Clear Dark Sky person?
Yeah,
Maybe. Let me try
because it
again.
looks like it updated after like 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Oh, actually more like 12. But wow, look at that. If this is right, then you were right about maybe the weather will get better.
Yeah. So hopefully we can observe your guys' Saturday morning.
Yes. Now, the only reason I wanted to come in here is I wanted to scroll up so we could look at some of the other old commands. Is Ulrich still on? Oh, he's not. But Ambrose and Chris, this will be useful for you guys and for anybody watching this video later on. So it's like some of the obvious commands. So if you come on and you see the last command was squeeze, it means the observing session is likely over. And sorry about that, but this was just when you're done with the night, you do squeeze. That closes the observatory completely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have to do the share off or unlock, correct?
If you squeeze, no.
It does both that for you.
Yeah, but let's say you wanted to transfer to someone else, so then you would do unlock but not close the dome.
Right.
That's when that's useful.
Yes. So interesting. Okay, so this is how you found that asteroid?
Yep.
And so once you find it, then you can plot it. And this is how you, oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Hey, Chris, if you could put your question into the chat. We're having a really hard time hearing you. Okay. I'm going to scroll up to find one of the other plot commands in a second once we get Chris's question, just so people can see what this looks like when it's not a solar system object. Because that was one thing I forgot. Now, Amanda, what number is this that we put in?
That's the asteroid number.
So are all asteroids just they're one of these 5-digit numbers?
I have no idea, but that one.
Okay, good. Okay. Oh, Adam,
So
you are now, how can I navigate to it? Oh, Ambrose, let's see if you are in here.
hello. Sorry, I was to say, you know, the first like the introductory session of this, I was actually I was the those things I'm not used to them then, but thank you. You said we should be able to check the SEO in the Google class, and you said we should also check maybe the past introductory video record of SEO. So I don't know, maybe for us to be able to get the video link, I don't know if you can pin it somewhere, or maybe you resend it in our general all sky survey Slack, so that it can be easy. I can just click and watch, then read the one also in a Google class. Yeah, I think it may help so that we may be able to join in the next observing session, the new students, and understand what you guys are doing there too. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Um, I will be posting the link to this today's video here. And I will also go back in YouTube and find a good video of either Amanda and Katya and myself, or some combination of the three of us, going through and actually using Slack live and doing an observing session. We have honestly a ridiculously long list of videos of us doing that. So I will go back and find a good one where we were able to get some nice images, and you'll be able to see exactly how we controlled the telescope and everything like that. So I'll also post one of the older videos there as well.
Yeah, and once you guys like actually observe, it's like riding a bicycle. You just like, it sounds like there's a lot at first, but once you get into the hang of it, you will pick it up really fast. Like it's very intuitive once you actually do it. So definitely, if you have the time and if you're able to, definitely join our observing session, and we'll do like a short introduction there too.
And one thing I do want to stress is that because the telescope is a shared resource amongst other groups as well, you have to check with Amanda if you want to observe or if you want to propose an observing night, because there is a schedule that we have to stick to, and there are other people that also need time on the telescope. So we don't want anybody just jumping on at any point and trying to use the telescope. Just make sure you check and somebody knows and you're on the calendar.
Yeah, exactly. And we do want to get to a point where you guys are observing by yourselves. So if we start our observing session, but we go to sleep at like 3 a.m. for us, then you guys can continue for a couple of more hours afterwards. So you guys are observing by yourselves, or if you want to observe at some time during the week, that's fine too. But like Adam said, it's a shared resource. So it's generally very easy to get time on the telescope. I just want to make sure that, if I schedule you the same way, if I schedule you and I don't want anybody else interrupting your session, it will be like not good if somebody else was scheduled, but we're observing, so everyone kind of has a time slot on the calendar. So just reach out. It's not very formal. Just say, I want to observe during this day. Is it open? And I'll tell you yes or no. And then we'll go from there.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you have any questions, let me know. Also, I just noticed he couldn't pinpoint. And then.
Oh, I see.
Oh, they forgot a digit.
Can you check SEO 9002?
Yes. And don't worry, Ambrose, I will answer your question in just a moment.
Go on.
Keep going.
Okay. No, that's it. That's weird. Because
that's what it did to me. It wouldn't pinpoint. It would point, and then it was definitely in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know like what the deal is with that.
Okay. Anyway, so Ambrose, the reason you can't get to this channel is because I believe you didn't actually get added to this. So we can actually fix that now, actually. So Amanda, is the plan to just add them to the SEO Slack in general, and then you would give them access to Examna?
Yeah, exactly.
So let me see if you guys got added here. So Ambrose did not actually get into this Slack. Oh, we have somebody new.
Hi, Vanessa.
Add your email. Oh, sorry.
Katya is not here today.
What was that, Nameka?
Katya, she's not here today.
No, Katya is not here today. I believe she probably has her class.
Okay.
I can actually get Ambrose's email. Wait, is Ambrose not in here either? Oh my gosh. Ambrose, I'm so sorry. Can I get his email?
Maybe click the three dots thing. Email.
Oh, good. It opened it in a new tab.
Hey, Vanessa. We are just talking about observing with the SEO telescope.
Is this, I want yes, they're from another company?
No, put no there from my company.
Okay. Send
Yeah.
subscription and sent, and I'll add them here. And Vanessa, you will be next. We're going to make sure to add you here as well. One existing member. Oh. Oh, not wrong channel.
Oh yeah, they're there.
Oh, he is here. Okay. Why didn't it let me add him then?
It could be that they're already part of the channel. Oh, we're not.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay, I could have sworn it said he wasn't in there. All right, so Ambrose, you've been added to both of these. And Vanessa, it is very nice to meet you. And if you're able to say a little bit about yourself, give yourself like a quick introduction, we can do some quick ones. And if you're not able to talk, you can feel free to send it in the chat.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, I'm Vanessa, and this is my first time joining. I've been having difficulty in joining for a very long time, so thanks to God that I finally joined. So I'm a Nigerian, and I'm a master's student in astrophysics. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for introducing yourself. By the way, I'm Adam. I work here at Glass Education. And if you have any questions, need to get access to anything, I am the go-to person. You can contact me via Slack. My email is also Very easy. It's just Adam at Class Education. So if I go, is my email not in here? Okay. But Vanessa, could you put your email into the Zoom chat? You can direct message it to me if you want. And I'm going to add you to the Google Classroom so you have access to all of the resources. And I'll be uploading, and I'm also going to add you to our Slack channel so that you'll be able to access the recording of this entire meeting. So you'll be able to catch up on anything that you missed earlier on.
All right. I just sent my email address.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's add you first to the students.
Yeah.
I can stop sharing my screen actually for a second, but. All right. So you'll get an email inviting you there, and I'm going to add you to both Slack channels.
In the meantime, does anyone have any questions? Are people going to be able to join tomorrow night / Saturday morning's observing session? Is that a I don't know?
We'll all be there for sure. I'll be there.
Yay. Okay. And we can do the asteroid that observing session. So we can get really good data with you guys. Oh, but one thing, ask if you could ask Matt what the individual exposure times were for that asteroid, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, but I think we should possibly get maybe other targets for tomorrow. Then after Wednesday, we could now get the logistics for the so that even if we schedule the observation, other persons can join in. So that we don't because we need to get the full details of what we need, and he's still working on it. So
Okay.
I don't want to put him in a hurry. So we just probably get. I think Ambrose could come up with a target for tomorrow for the variable stars. Then
Yeah, I think variable star target would be really good. Plus, we can't actually get the asteroid until a little bit later on in the evening anyway.
True. Yeah.
So having something to start the night with would be good.
And when are our observing sessions starting? Is it like 12 here ish?
8:30 or 9 here
Oh, but
for us.
yeah, but is it going to be cloudy for like the beginning evening?
Oh, yeah, let's check that again.
So we will be on until like, if everything goes well with the telescope, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, like 3 in the morning our time?
Yes.
Okay, so we will be on until 3 in the morning. So that is that 9 or 10 in Nigeria?
10.
Okay, so if you guys can jump, oh, go ahead, sorry. So if you guys can jump on anytime like at 7 or 8 or 6, depending on how ambitiously you want to wake up early.
So
Yeah.
what exactly time are we going for the observation? Based on your own, so that I will check the time, I will use the time conversion here to know when to join.
I would say you guys can join 11:30 our time, because that's
11:30 a.m.
11:30 at night for us. So that is 6:30 in the morning for you. But if that's too early, we will probably be online until like 3 in the morning our time. So that would be 10 in the morning for you. So if you join before, if you join at around 7, like if 6:30 is too early, you can join, you can hop on a little later, but not too much later because we want to go over all of the commands and the observing. So the good thing about this is once you guys get a handle on observing, once we go to sleep, you can continue observing, but you have to be there for the beginning part of the session to get the info about like how to control and the etiquette of the telescope itself. Does that make sense? Thanks, Adam.
Made sense here. One last thing I want to check with
Okay.
is, Chris, are you in both Slack channels or Slack workspaces?
Yes, I'm in Slack.
Perfect.
I mean, yeah, well, I don't know. Just like I said, I've been having hard time to hear everything. Today is just the network where I am is so bad. So if I could still get the recording, I'll be fine. Then I just heard I should be able to join. There will be an observation tomorrow, Friday. So it means I should be able to go through the SEO in Google Class and also the video before tomorrow so that I can be able to know what to do, and I'll be able to join in perfectly in the observing session 6:30 a.m. for us. So I was able to get some of those things, but not all. Thank you.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I'll have the recording up quickly. And so, so Vanessa, I think the aim for tomorrow night is going to be getting everybody familiar with how to operate the telescope through Slack. And this, the other aim will be, we're going to be picking a variable star, and we're going to then be imaging that air variable star, using that so we can get familiar with how to operate the telescope. And then later in the evening, once the asteroid we want to image comes up, we'll be switching targets. So we'll learn how to, find and go to a different, to a specific target. And then we'll be imaging that for the remainder of the evening. And then the idea is to do photometry with both of those afterwards, both of those data sets afterwards. But yeah.
Sorry. It's like I have a question. You said something in the morning, then you go towards the evening. And is there anything we are going to do in the morning and evening also? Like I heard Adam saying morning, then evening session or something.
Oh, yeah, so you can join us. We'll be starting in the evening here, but you guys won't be able to join us until morning where you are. I think that might be where the confusion is coming from. So if you want to jump on at 6 or 6:30 a.m. where you are, that'll be about when we're getting going with the variable star and getting close to when we can image the asteroid as well.
Yeah, and Ambrose, if you can pick the variable star that you would like to observe, definitely let us know. And also just to clarify, the reason that it's morning in Nigeria time is because we can only, the telescope is in California, so we can only observe when it's dark in California. And it just so happens that when it's dark in California is morning for you guys. So that's why we're observing in the morning. And once you get a handle again on how to use the telescope, you will be able to use it farther into your morning. So the sun rises at around 6 in the morning in California. So that will be around noon or 1 o'clock for you guys. But we will probably be asleep because that is 4 in the morning for us. So once you guys get acquainted with using the telescope, you can use it to observe without us at a more normal time. But for the learning purposes of this, since we're staying up until like 3 in the morning, yeah, we ask you guys to just wake up early so that you can observe with us to learn, and then you'll be able to do it by yourself later.
Okay. I'll update you on the variables term I want to work on.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Let me chip in. Adams, the last observation I noticed, I don't know, maybe I didn't see clearly. The observing session was not recorded. So I don't know. Subsequently, it would be nice if we will record one observing session. I mean, it's for this week. The idea is so that even people that miss out can actually look at it and follow up on a little bit of get acquainted with what is done for the next observing session. So I don't know if that's too much of a task for or the size. I know you guys don't have problems with uploading a huge size because of a faster internet and all.
Right. So are you
I don't know
asking that I
if that's
record
any
the next
possible.
observing session in case anybody misses it?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I can definitely do that. That's not a problem.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So yeah, we'll record the next couple observing sessions, and I'll make sure to have those recordings available so everybody can see in case something comes up or you're just not able to make time at the moment for each observing session. So yeah, that's an easy thing to accommodate. Thank you for mentioning that, Nameka. All right. Are there any other questions or things that somebody would like to check on?
Say thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. We really enjoy doing this, and we're really excited now that SEO is back to get these observing sessions going and get to know you guys and see what kind of cool data we can get out of this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get our survey on the way. Um, so yeah, so we'll see you guys tomorrow night / Saturday morning for you. And until then, and enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. See you.
Take care.
Bye.